Hello and welcome. I'm Gabriela from Sundial NZ, and I'm here with Trish Polcher, my friend. And welcome, Trish. So
Hello.
today we are really diving into a conversation as well as an activation about including the mystical, the spiritual realm of the dragons in our relationships. And we really want to open the space straight away with an activation to invite the wisdom of the dragon realm, to invite you into the frequencies of your new next in relationship, including your dragon frequency and wisdom. Anything, Trish, you want to bring in to open up, or shall we dive straight into an
Let's
activation?
dive right in.
Nice. Okay, lovely. So we're gonna all put hands on heart. Connecting to our hearts, you can have your eyes open or closed. I'm having mine closed. As I connect to the heart, and we call in the wisdom, the guidance, the intelligence of the dragon realm into this conversation, into this streaming, into this video, to bring in delight, joy, play, curiosity, wisdom, intelligence, guidance through and from the realm of the dragons. To be curious about how we may or how we are expanding our consciousness in relationships. And I really probably want to talk about relationships as in within couples or close friendships, that we enrich our consciousness there. So for a moment, let's breathe into the heart. Let's bring our consciousness into our bodies, and we invite the dragon realm to be here, dragons for our highest and best. The fire dragon, the earth dragons, air dragons, and water dragons. And any dragons for support, healing, purity, clarity to come forth. And we would like to have clear messages received through this, that the messages are not just clear for us, but for you who is watching or listening to this, to receive clear messages as well in this exploration, to include dragons in New Earth relationships. So we're holding the space open here now. When I tuned into this call, I also pulled out a card first thing in the morning from the Diana Cooper card deck and asked about what dragon may be really leading us in this conversation. And I did get the fire dragon coming through. The message here is burns up the lower energies around you. So we're already clearing ground here. You're safe and protected. Be determined and inspired. Clear your soul pathway. And the fire dragons, I actually will put a picture just for a moment behind me so that you can see what this one looks like. This is the fire dragon that is supporting us right now. And it's inviting us to really burn up any circumstances in our lives that are not serving us, calling us to dive deep into past, however, not get hung up by stories, simply being open to clear, release, and neutralize so that your future can be bright, you can shine. Having the ability and the power to travel along timelines, these dragons can transmute, clear, and heal as we are open to this. So they're happy to do this while we even sleep. They're here with us. We can ask them to light up the path in front of us, to relax and trust that they do their work. These orange dragons have huge open hearts and love to keep you safe by creating a fiery wall of protection around you, your home, your family. So do remember to invite and ask them to support you. You can call them in and they will use their flames, their breath, and to inspire you as you invoke them. You may be amazed at the positive and courageous way you start to deal with people and situations. So this is a short message that came through this morning. And Trish, so as we're tuning into this conversation,
I had a thought while you were saying that. It's like, why do people love dragons?
why
You
do
know,
women love
they're
dragons?
right, they're scary, but they're so loving at the same time. And children love them too. They're so drawn to them. And I think that it kind of replicates or demonstrates how we are inside as human beings. You know, we're all of that. We're scary. We hurt ourselves, but we're also our divine nature too. I just thought of that when you were when that orangey, fiery flame breath came out, like, and it was loving. Just love that. So
Yes, absolutely. And good on you for jumping in because that is it. There is a fascination. Yes, they're huge, but they draw us and they draw the smallest of us to some, as older ones as well. I think it is the love that brings us to connect to them. And so if you would link what you just said into relationships, what would an invitation be from you?
I would say to be almost scary, brutally honest with oneself
Mm,
and the
mm.
awareness of like, what is my role in this relationship? If there's a problem, if there's an issue, what's my role? And I think that I was going to say dinosaur, the dragon has to be brutally honest with their own true nature before they can ever help themselves or someone else.
It calls really strongly on taking responsibility for ourselves to, be mindful of the big hearts that we have, but also the powers. And even if you look at the ice dragon behind me, there are some sharp edges to it, and they could be very, very damaging or harmful. So if I hear you right, Trish, is to say, being aware of our own power, but also take responsibilities and showing up and being brutally honest with ourselves, which takes courage. And of course, with others. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that would help one create or become aware of a boundary that they might set in the relationship that might be harmful or helpful, or create a new one that could be helpful. So I think those, like the teeth on at the edges, like where in my relationship with Mary Jo am I like so hard and staunch and I'm not even aware of it. So
Mm,
I would
mm.
invite the dragon energy to come in and show me who I am, show me how I can be of service either to myself and the other person and the union itself.
It is. It is. It's like stop living in illusions, stop living, in keeping yourself small with maybe old belief systems, and see through that, show up in your, a dragon is a dragon. And I actually laughed to myself the other day, we have this saying, oh, you old dragon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And looking at it from a playful way is, yeah, old dragon maybe, however, yeah, authentic, and responsible for its appearance, which leads us then into holding consciousness of, when am I reacting from old behaviors, old beliefs, old programs, and when am I really outside of that?
Mm-hmm.
And we could invite here, yeah, sort of if we want to play with the dragons and consciousness, really to invite the dragons to really hold our consciousness in that awareness. Yeah, am I in a belief system, in a replay of something, or am I actually an expression of my true self? And we
Mm-hmm.
want to say yes to that and more, so that we can create in relationship an authentic closeness and growth from there. And that, of course, sometimes is uncomfortable or takes courage, but I think it is really the way where we are at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that the power of the union of any relationship is to be aware of triggers. Am I being triggered? If I am, is it because of what you said in an old program? Is it something I'm not aware of? And also, am I doing something to trigger the other person? It goes back to that awareness, right? Of that play, of that, yeah, we always fight, we always, we do this is what we do, this is how we are. Doesn't have to be that way, because in that belief, there isn't always, there might be a solution, and it might be a small Band-Aid solution to a problem. But that kind of lack of awareness or lack of depth doesn't lead us to the higher relationship, which is what we're going for in the new earth relationship. So we're asking the dragon to show us, like, show me where I trigger, what makes me annoyed, what pisses me off about myself and you, and ask the other person, how did I hurt you? How do I help you? And here's how you hurt
Yeah,
and help me.
and what came through as you were speaking is really, it's so easy, yeah, in the old ways to find what is not right, or what we think is not right in the other. And it really is, then we drop caring for the other, because we are so focused on what should change or what is different. And I think what I'm really feeling from the dragons come forth is, hey, we are in this relationship because we really actually care and love, yeah, this other person. So how can we connect and stay connected with the other, even when things are difficult or things are not quite that way that we thought they might be? So a real constant reminder, yeah, let's not get caught up in the head, shift the energy back into the heart. Hey, I deeply care about this person. How can I
Mhm,
show up with love, with authenticity, with compassion,
mhm,
and expand from there? And I think that is something where the dragons can really, really, firstly, I think they, if you may call in an earth dragon or something, that anchors you more into your body, and then really to activate that heart energy and that heart wisdom to come through for you to speak and listen and stay connected in ways, even when things are difficult.
Mhm. Mhm. And it reminds me of something that we spoke of just briefly before we um, connected, we recorded, was what if one person has that genuine connection to themselves and willingness, and the other person that you love and care about hasn't a clue? That can be extra challenging because you can feel alone in this, and all the more reason to call on the healing and the wisdom of the dragon.
Yes, so I think there is always a chance or almost a temptation in a relationship when things are difficult to withdraw or get independent. And I have done this in my relationship. I've been 30 years with my husband that we became very, very individual and really, really good at being individual. However, the key really for me to turn around was when I became aware, yes, I can be really, really individual. And because my husband is completely not interested in the spiritual realm, as Trish said, and he could become quite insular and we could feel, not connected. But the reconnection was when I honored my spirituality, my way of being, and honored the differences between us, and still stay what I said before, like in that heart and the compassion for our
Mhm.
differences. Neither yay or nay, but it is really that understanding and coming from that place there, which then brings us back into reconnecting. Yes, we can go out, we can come back in. It is a constant dance of awareness, and it can become then more playful despite the differences.
Mhm. Yeah, you kind of, when you come from that place, you can kind of put down your weapons, so to speak, the
Yeah.
verbal, like, "Oh, I got a good one," I can really dig with that one, or the patterns that we get into that kind of feed the fire or make us feel better because we said something. And it's such a radical way to do relationships.
Mm, mm,
This new earth, it's radical awareness,
mm, mm.
and it can't come from thinking about things, right?
No,
It
it doesn't. It's a completely different intelligence that really comes through the center of you, through your heart. Yeah, it's very, very different. And so
Mhm,
I really would love to hold that, because that's a lovely, lovely point you're making. And that we really maybe invite in an activation that frequency to be embodied by each and everyone who is listening or comes across this video.
mhm,
I have an I am here, and the I am is I am wise. A wise soul holds a feeling of love and oneness for all beings. So that is the old wisdom that comes in here as well. And so
uh, Gabriella, did you say the codes that you
I
called
didn't
out
say the
before?
codes. I talked while I had the codes in my mind, and then so codes are they're numbers. When we talk about codes, we're talking about numbers that resonate the frequency within ourselves, within our DNA. And I didn't want to become too technical, but the codes that came today, there were 18,
Mhm,
9 and 11, and the 18 we break down to a 9. And the message of the codes really is about really embodying our awareness. When am I functioning in old belief systems and when not? And the 9, same thing. It's like, okay, an old system is completing, let's shift consciousness, being aware of it. And the 11 then is the mastery of really holding consciousness outside our old programs and really shifting it, what we talked about before, into that dragon consciousness, starting with a new earth, beginning in you, being you from that space of heart. I am wise. Yeah, that's sort of the translation of the code.
Yeah, those 2 9s actually speak to me and say we see the divinity in one another in a spiritual way of looking at a 9, and but also in a very common way to just see the best in your partner, just to see the best reflection in them. Look for the highest, look for the best, and make that be the basis for when things get rough, to see that divine reflection. And then the 11 after that.
Perfectly said. Yeah, I see the divinity in you. I see it in me, and coming from that place. Perfectly said, Trish.
The
Thank you.
dragon namaste.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. And I think as you were speaking, you just attuned us to this really, really beautiful frequency that we're holding now. So maybe we'll just drop into our hearts for a short moment. If you want to have your hands on your heart, or just bring your mind from your head down into your heart and attune to this frequency. I honor the divinity in you. I honor the divinity in myself, in the wisdom of the dragon, like Trish said, the dragon namaste. And allow this frequency to be fully activated now through all your cells in your body. Imagine the cells of your body, 30 trillion cells, being lit up, the electrons switched on into this frequency of the dragon namaste. And notice how your body is just, or imagine your body just being upgraded in frequency. And we just bring our minds fully down into our bodies, attuning the consciousness into the body. This is the quickest way usually to really expand consciousness, by bringing our mind down into the body. And if you want to, you can push the mind through the cells, through the tissues. Just imagine doing it. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. And then we just allow this source intelligence to be switched on. And we just hold it for a moment and noticing we're becoming still, almost holding a neutral space now, allowing that wisdom from the inside of you to be activating, knowing it's held in your body and your consciousness is expanding to this beautiful dragon namaste coding of 9911. And if you want to use an affirmation, it is I am wise. I am wise. I am wise. And we see this code clicking in We press our hands on our heart, knowing it is done. Your body is upgraded, your consciousness is upgraded. It's exciting. Stepping into the new next in this beautiful frequency, and we just say thank you, it is done. And you can gently open your eyes.
I had a little thought. If so, what I do if I get stuck, and we're using the affirmation, "I am wise." But what if a situation is, yeah, but I don't see that wisdom now. Is that helpful? Then we can say, "Show me the wisdom in this. I don't see it. Show it to me. What can I say? What can I do?" Because a positive statement's great, but if we don't know what to do with it, it's words,
It's
And I
for,
love what you
yeah, you
I
go.
love what you said about bringing it into the body, like really anchoring it into the body, into the heart, not just keep it here.
Mm.
I always forget that. We're smart beings, but the wisdom comes through the heart.
Yeah. And so a gentle reminder that, yes, we're staying open to the new next or to our evolution. And yes, sometimes times are painful or times are difficult. And like Trish is saying, you may not then feel wise or see the wisdom behind it. However, still stay open for it to be shown to you. And if something may show up during the day or the next day or the day after, and sometimes it comes very different than what you think it will come through. But it's about saying, yes, I'm staying plugged in to more than what I know. I think that's sort of it's an invitation to stay open, even when things are sometimes difficult, to be shown that new way. So this is it for today. Thank you so much, Trish, for sharing
Oh,
your beautiful wisdom, your goodness, your high frequencies here with me and in this little video with the company of the dragon and the dragon intelligence. Thank you so much, Trish.
well, I love it. And I love, I think our friendship is an illustration of a relationship that is always growing.
Mm.
We've got our moments, but it's always growing. And there's always wisdom that comes through. And I so appreciate you and I love you. And thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure and an honor always. Love you too, Trish. Okay, let's close with that and sending you all love and high vibes and play create with your mystical dragons. Bye bye.